AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision to Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock. It's quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Mike Triplett, bottom of this hour. Talk some Saints. Jimmy will be here for Autolocks. So a lot to get to. There's some news earlier today from Pete Nakos that Gerald Chatman, if you remember that name, defensive line coach who at one point was an analyst at LSU who, when Jamar Cain left in the middle of spring ball, Chatman was promoted to defensive line coach for the duration of spring. Chatman did not get the job. He ended up leaving LSU, going to Tulane, and that's when LSU hired Jimmy Lindsey, who, if you remember the connect the dots, fell ill in fall camp, had a very serious medical condition. They moved John Jancic to coach defensive line, then later brought in Pete Jenkins. That was the 2023 season. But anyway, Chatman, LSU apparently made a run to try to get him back here. Pete Nakos reported that LSU was targeting Chatman, who's been at Florida, by the way, targeting Florida defensive line coach Gerald Chatman for a role with the Tigers defensive staff, but John Summerall has signed him to a deal to stay in Gainesville. So it's interesting because of the path that LSU has followed, because there's two spots still to be filled on Lane Kiffin's staff. One is the defensive line coach, the defensive tackles, right? Because you've retained Kevin Peoples, who's coaching your edge position. And then obviously the running back coach, which we're all assuming is going to be Kevin Smith, coming over from Ole Miss when their season ends, barring something unforeseen, which talk about all the time in coaching searches until the ink's dry and the coach is being introduced. It's not done till it is. But so Chatman was an interesting target. I keep getting asked, obviously, about Coach O. It's pretty clear right now that Coach O is available. If they wanted to hire Coach O, they would have. They haven't. They're not going to. And then the other part of it has been Elijah Robinson, who was in Baton Rouge a couple of weeks ago and looked like that was going to get done. Football Scoop reported that it was done, and then it wasn't. So, again, a reminder that till the ink's dry, it ain't. So Robinson, leaning potentially to Nebraska with Matt Rule or his alma mater, Penn State, or maybe still LSU. We'll see. But the fact that LSU clearly was talking to Chatman to try to get him to take that job probably tells you that Robinson is probably not playing anymore. So what direction do you go? I think the most obvious answer is going to be Chris Kiffin. It's Lane's brother. He's moved his family here from Oxford. He was an analyst for 2 years, the last 2 years on staff at Ole Miss. I don't think there's any doubt he wants to have a greater role on field, full-time, better salary, all the stuff. So Chris Kiffin, to me, sounds like the most obvious answer. He has spent 11 seasons coaching defensive line, both at the college and NFL level, so he's qualified to do it. One thing that was sort of floated to me was so interesting was the possibility of maybe Chris Kiffin coaching linebackers and Blake Baker coaching the star position, which, my goodness, I can't imagine Blake Baker not coaching linebackers. But, this is still to be determined. And then if you did that, you still need someone to coach your defensive line. So how this may all play out, we'll continue to watch. But Chatman's a guy, another guy sort of from that Pete Jenkins coaching tree. I know I've talked to Coach Pete before about Gerald Chatman. He's very bullish on him. And a guy with ties to the state, but a guy who had been at Tulane, left LSU, went to Tulane, but a guy who apparently is going to stay there at the University of Florida on John Summerall's staff being retained. So LSU continues to look for those two assistants, a running backs coach and a defensive line coach. So we'll see how this might all play out. And as we know more, we'll certainly share it with you. Hey, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I want to answer, I got a question on the text line about Lane Kiffin's sort of roster building approach. It's about Wayne Portal in high school, and I want to talk about that in a second, but we are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters too. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I always say energy-efficient replacement windows, and it's important to note that because when you install these energy-efficient windows, they are installed, measured to the exact specification of your home. So every window is a custom window. These aren't pulled from a factory somewhere. Measured, and then they're made custom for your home. So you're buying a premium product that's going to last, and because they're made to measure for your home, it's going to reduce those costly air leaks, and that's going to make your home more energy efficient. So you're going to save on your heating and cooling bills depending on seasonality. It's going to increase your home's resale value. Comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. So you do this one time and you're done forever. It's not like every 4 or 5 years when your windows rot because it's South Louisiana, you're replacing them. Nope. Once and you're done forever. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We opened up the show today. If you missed it, highly recommend you go catch it on demand. I kind of gave you an update on, as best I've been able to gather, how Lane Kiffin and his staff and what Lane Kiffin and his staff have been doing over the past couple of weeks, sort of the evaluation of this current roster, assessing financial value, sort of like salary value to position groups and players individually, and now they're going through those retention meetings starting this week of the current roster, which is why you're starting to see a lot of the players that have declared for the portal. I got this text because we talked about how just the change in philosophy and approach from Brian Kelly to Lane Kiffin, whereas Kelly's thing was always build through the high school ranks and supplement in the portal. And Lane Kiffin is the inverse of that. His thing is that he wants to get impact players via the portal. And, for the last 4 years, we've used both on the show, and I haven't felt hard and fast one way about it or another, but we have used both Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin as a test case to say, look, here's two coaches at SEC schools who are taking very different approaches to this era of how they want to build a roster. Let's see how it works. And look, after 2023, I could have argued Brian Kelly's way was better. He had won 2 out of 3 games against Kiffin, including the 2024 game where Ole Miss had a more talented roster, still lost in Baton Rouge. LSU had a Heisman Trophy winner. They had gone to the SEC championship game. Like, I could have made that argument. I did make that argument, actually. And I don't know if you'd say the same anymore. But so I got a text from Matt. While I agree an experienced Power 4 player will likely always be more impactful than a high school player, it seems like the approach of the best schools around the country, like Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, A&M, Notre Dame, Bama, Oregon, is to build through high school, supplement in the portal. You would think that, wouldn't you? And you'd be wrong. Let's take a gander, if we shall. These are the transfer portal rankings for 2025. Okay, so from this past portal cycle for this current year. Number 1 class was LSU. We know how that went. The number 2 class was Texas Tech. Hey, how did Texas Tech do this year, Muse?
They're in the college football playoff.
Got it. Number 3 was Miami. How did Miami do this year?
They're in the college football playoff.
Number 4 was Ole Miss. How did Ole Miss do?
They're in the college football playoff.
Number 5 was Oregon. They any good?
A college football playoff.
Got it. So LSU, and then the next 4 are all in the college football playoff?
Correct.
Got it. Now look, Florida State was 6. You can take this play. Florida State was 6. Missouri was 7. Auburn, North Carolina, Kentucky. Like, some didn't do well, right? A lot of it's going to be evaluation. Texas A&M, how do they do?
They're in the college football playoff.
Got it. Yep, sure. So anyway, point being here, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. You want to look at other teams that made the playoff? Okay, Bama had the 21st ranked transfer class. Georgia, the 22nd ranked transfer class. Ohio State, the 24th ranked transfer class. So yes, in Indiana, the 25th. However, Indiana pulled 23 players out of the portal. Contrast that. So like Bama had 12, Georgia had 10, Indiana had 23, Ohio State 11, Indiana 23. Indiana's undefeated, number 1 team in the country, had 23 players in the portal last year. So all that to say, like, there's many different ways to skin a cat. But 5 of the top 6 portal classes, those teams are in the playoff. The omission is LSU, which signed the best portal class. I think the key is evaluation. It's not just about throwing money at a portal class. It's hitting on that portal class. And I think LSU hit on some players undeniably. I mean, you hit on Mansour Delane, right? You hit on Barry and Brown. He ended up being your leading receiver. You hit on A.J. Halsey. You overspent on guys like Bauer Sharp and Nick Anderson and some of the skill guys that, frankly, you didn't need. And you didn't go heavy enough on the offensive line. I mean, that's the lesson learned from this season, right? So I don't really care what you think or what I think. It doesn't matter what you think or what I think. Because the coach you're paying $91 million to last year signed 30 players in the transfer portal, and that team is in the college football playoff. So it doesn't matter what you think or what I think. It don't matter. What I'm telling, so again, this isn't a take. I'm not giving you an opinion. What I'm telling you is this is what Lane Kiffin is doing. He is going to go ham in the transfer portal. They're going to they signed 14 players in their high school class. And the 14 players they signed have the highest average rating in the country. So if you average out the rating of every player in the class, LSU is the number 1 class in the country. But they only signed 14 kids. So they're going to go sign 14 real. Lane said it. Do you have that cut? Where he said we're going to play it? Like, you don't listen to me. He told you what he's going to do.
We have big picture thinking too. So we're not reaching or we're not signing kids because they're from this school or that school or any of that stuff, okay? We're going to sign the best players that we can on Wednesday, then go to the portal, which I have zero concern about the interest of players with that. Because I know what the interest was of players nationally, come play for us where we were just at. And now when you put that with this stadium and with that logo, I mean, makes me want to go get on the phone right now. But the portal's not open.
You don't need to take my word for it. Like, he told you what he's doing. If you don't like it, tough. You paid the dude $91 million. Let him go do what he wants to do. He's the portal king. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you disagree. It doesn't matter what I think if I like it or disagree. Like, it doesn't matter a lick. This is what he is doing. It is his method of building a roster. Let's see if it works. He did it for this Ole Miss team, got him in the playoff. Where's LSU right now with their $18 million roster? Getting ready for the Texas Bowl. Going 7-5. Fired their coach. You can do it multiple ways. This is the way he is doing it. Whether you like it or like it is irrelevant. This is what he is doing. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, he's going to get fired. All right, we're brought to you by Evamore. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Evamore.com. Stay hydrated, y'all. When it's cold outside, and it's warmer today, it's 73 right now. But when it's cold outside, sometimes because we're not parched, we forget to stay hydrated. But it's when it's most important. Cold and flu season's here, flu's everywhere. One great way to boost your immunity is stay hydrated. To get over an illness, stay hydrated. Drink Evamore. EVAMOR. Natural artesian water, better form of hydration, and a Louisiana product. It's Evamore. You can find it at great local retailers at evamore.com to find the retailer that has it. Evamore.com, Evamore.com, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, or you can buy it online at Evamore.com. Drink Evamore. All right, Mike Triplett in 15 minutes. Talk some Saints. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. I got a quick break, and there is maybe an interesting change coming to the college football playoff. Ross Dellinger has an interesting piece up right now at Yahoo. We'll knock it around next, and we'll get to Triplett. Stick around, AFR.
After further review.
As we near the end of the year, of course, the holidays are here. Maybe you got family coming in town either for the Christmas holiday or around the New Year. Remember Watermark downtown, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property? Awesome place to stay. You know, Watermark is walking distance from like everything downtown. Restaurants and shopping and all the sights to see, the casinos downtown as well. Watermark is right there, and it's voted by you at the best of 225, the best hotel. I mean, it is the best hotel. It is premium luxury hotel. It is the best hotel in Baton Rouge. It's an awesome place to have an event. A wedding reception, a board meeting, a fundraiser, a gala. You could do it at downtown at Watermark Baton Rouge, where they've preserved so much of the history of that building, which just celebrated its centennial. The building is 100 years old. So it's this historical piece in downtown Baton Rouge with great modern amenities. It's Watermark Baton Rouge. Check them out downtown. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
So we are obviously embarking on year 2 of a 12-team college football playoff, and that is going to change next year. The degree to which, however, is just kind of coming into light. Ross Dellinger over at Yahoo has a great piece up if you haven't seen it. He details an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, that was signed 18 months ago, which dictates certain things, like each of the Power 4 conference champions are guaranteed a berth. So in this instance, like this year, Duke winning the ACC would have been granted a berth. Also, the highest ranked non-Power League champion would advance. Also, Notre Dame, if they finished in the top 12, would automatically be in. So that's getting a lot of people's attention right now. As a matter of fact, Ross quotes one Power League athletic director who said, quote, "Why did we agree to give Notre Dame that?" He says, steaming over the deal. So there are people who are upset about that. Also, the non-Power Leagues basically agreed to alternate language that would prevent them from receiving 2 spots automatically like they did this year. And so he asked the question, why would these people agree to do that? And the bottom line is the SEC and the Big Ten apparently threatened to go create their own playoff as part of these conversations. Now, this part's just coming to light. So the SEC and the Big Ten said, do what we say or we're leaving and going create our own playoff. And a college football playoff without the SEC and the Big Ten isn't an attractive proposition. So now the Big Ten and the SEC have 58% of the revenue, and they also wanted control over the format, which they also got. There's one big catch, however, and that MOU, there were actually 3 MOUs that were signed. One MOU among the 11, so the 10 conference commissioners and Notre Dame's AD. One between those 11 parties and ESPN. And then a third that was an agreement over the Pac-12's revenue, which is the 2, Washington State and Oregon State, which doesn't matter. But the caveat is that MOU was only applicable to a playoff of up to 14 teams. And this is interesting because Greg Sankey was a guest on the Rich Eisen show and talked about his preferred number for the format.
This is my opinion. I think that the move to 12 was really well timed. And we were slow to adapt in real time because we were slow to accept the 12-team idea. And I was part of the group that introduced 12. When we've talked as a league we think the move to 16 is the next right step. That provides 11 at-larges. It honors conference champions. And I do expect there's going to be a lot of stress about the low-ranked conference champions that are in this thing right now because they've displaced some much more highly ranked teams. That's the point of controversy. And so I do think we have to continue to adapt. Our league has said 16 is the right next step, whether we can agree upon that or not. As a group in the College Football Playoff Management Committee, that remains to be seen.
16 is great. 16 allows you to honor conference champions, which if you don't honor a conference champion, why do you play in a conference, right? If there's no reward for winning your conference, why do you play in a conference? Just think about that logically. Like in the NFL, the reward for winning your division is you get in the playoffs. If that wasn't a reward, why would you have divisions? You would just have this homogenous blob of teams where anybody can play anybody. Maybe that's the path we get to eventually. And you could say not all conferences are equal, and I agree with you. But if you're going to play conferences, you have to reward a conference champion, which this does that. And it allows for the exception that we're just talking about, where the highly ranked teams aren't going to be displaced by a low-ranked conference champion. So, and then you're going to say, well, you put in 16, and then the 17th team is going to bitch. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I'd say. The more teams you add, the less sympathy you have for the omitted team. I don't have much sympathy for number 17. I think that this year that would be Arizona. If I remember, I don't care what Arizona thinks. I'm good. So you get all the teams that deserve to be in. You have a true playoff. Let one play 16, two play 15, so on. It can be done. It's been done before in many sports, and I am very much looking forward to what that's going to look like. Let all these very smart people figure out how to distribute the money and all that sort of stuff. And if they involve the bowl games because of the revenue and whatever they're going to do is fine. I just want a true playoff on the field where instead of having the self-important dopes in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas debating things like defensive efficiency and game control, determining on high who has earned the right from their benevolent standpoint to have the opportunity to play, I'd rather play games on the field. Because if we're not determining it on the field, then why play games? Just take someone's opinion. Who do you think is the best? I think they're the best. Yeah, but they played and that team won. But I think they're better. Then why do we play the game? There is a logical deduction here to be made. And we're getting closer to it. So, and what we should take away from this is if Sankey wants 16, it's going to go to 16, which I think will be awesome. All right, y'all, it's AFR. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. My Parish quarter zip on today. Purple and gold Parish quarter zip today. How about that? A lot of people like that. I don't know where we got it, though. I don't control the merch. I just when I go into the office, I just go into the merch closet and take things. ParishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was having lunch. Shout out, Jay's Barbecue on Government. Awesome spot. If you've never been to Jay's Barbecue, go to Jay's Barbecue. One of my favorite spots for years and years and years was at Jay's Barbecue on Government Street. I was talking to Milton there. They were having a roof issue. I said, hold on. Called Linda in our office. I said, Linda, can we get someone out here to Jay's today to look at this roof with Milton? They're having issues. Absolutely. We had Matt Pearson, our commercial roofing manager, call immediately. Boom, got it scheduled. We're there. So I would, as a partner in Parish, I'm more than happy to help facilitate whenever I can. But the bottom line is do business with someone you know. We are a company and people who are local, who have been here, will be here, licensed. We help form the LRCA, the Louisiana Roofing Contractors Association, to bring more accountability and credibility to an industry that unfortunately has a lot of bad actors in it. We'd love to help you out. Repairs, replacements, commercial, residential, gutter, soft wash, we do it all. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. All right. I told Mike Triplett we were going to do some Mad Libs. So we'll do that next with Mike Triplett. Stay here.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Hey, remember, if you're a man who is on hormone replacement therapy, and I am, and I know there's thousands of you listening right now that are as well, I want you to consider switching from your current clinic to Goodwood, or if you use an online service or something like that. I'll tell you why. Most importantly, number one, is because you're talking about a commodity. Or it's if you're on Cypionate or an Anthate, whatever it is, it's the same product. But at Goodwood, they're going to give you the best price. So lowest price is never any contracts. There's no membership fee. I've learned recently that there are some clinics in town that charge a membership fee, which is patently absurd. If you're paying a membership fee, you have to leave now. I order you to leave now. And when you get your blood work done, your blood labs every 6 months, Goodwood pays for that. You don't pay for that. YourGoodwood.com. Check them out, y'all. YourGoodwood.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
Mike! Yeah?
New Orleans Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football. Presented by Benny's Car Wash. Family owned and operated since 1951.
It wasn't that long ago that we welcomed Mike Triplett onto the show, and he said, you're still calling me, huh? Well, the Saints now have won back-to-back games. They've won 3 out of 6, and they are favored by 4.5 this weekend against the Jets. Mike, how different things are in just a few weeks with Tyler Shuck. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good memory. That was a hilarious, clever line by me.
You know what else I remember? Is that last week I told you we were going to play some Mad Libs.
Yeah, that was about 3 weeks ago. We always talk about it.
I have pulled up on my screen right now a lot of different categories. So we are going to play some Mad Libs here in just a moment, but let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Is Tyler Shuck going to win like 3 or 4 Super Bowls?
That's probably a joke question. I don't want to limit his potential, but it is funny that it's not out of the question he gets in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
Okay.
If they win these games.
What do you think that would take? I
haven't really researched it, but I thought that's what you were going to ask me, and I started to think, you know what? I haven't decided if that's off the table or not.
Let's see. Here you go. Updated Rookie of the Year odds.
Who are we
Travion
forgetting
Henderson.
from, like running back and receiver?
So Travion Henderson, Emeka Ibuka.
Yeah, he was hot for a while.
Tet McMillan, Jackson Dart, Tyler Warren, then Tyler Shuck at plus 2,500.
Pretty crazy. I don't think he'll do it, but if he finished with 3 more wins, I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah. Oh God, if they win their last 5, I actually think he will win it if they want to go on a 5-game winning streak to end this thing. Now, give me a degree of probability that you think that happens.
Winning all 3. I mean, individually, I think they can absolutely win any of these games. And 2 is even feeling likely. I think the Vegas odds would have them predicted to win 2. But, I mean, I still need to see it to believe it. I mean, the consistency that would require, just the attrition they have everywhere. I mean, now Devin Neal is on IR, and we don't know if Alvin Kamara's coming back at all, and Devon Bailey might not come back at all. And, I mean, Cesar Ruiz might be out. They're just down to, they're so thin at so many positions that it's hard to predict it. But I'm going to pick them to beat the Jets this week, and then I'll probably pick them to beat the Titans the week after that. And then if they're on a 4-game win streak when they go into Atlanta, how am I going to pick against them then?
I don't know. The Titans actually are playing hard, and that's a road game, and it's probably going to be cold. I don't know that I feel great about that one. But
right.
I think the bigger question, Mike, is like the defensive turnaround for this team, because over the last 5 weeks, they've actually been among the best in the NFL. I'll just ask you a very simple question. How have they done that?
Well, they have not had the same injury attrition there. They've got pretty close to their full starting projected 11. Chase Young missed those first 5 games, and he's just been awesome since then. He's been really, really good for them, probably their best player on defense. Justin Reed has missed some time. I think he'll come back. But, you've got your top 3 corners. You've got your top 3 defensive ends. You've got your top 3 defensive tackles. You've got your top 3 linebackers. I think Brandon Staley's pretty good at his job. They're not, blowing the doors off anybody in any one category, but they're still fighting hard. That's probably the biggest surprise of all, especially with veterans like Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. And it's like, this season's not going anywhere, but spirits are still high. Effort is still high. That's been one of the more impressive things to see in December, because it has not always been that way in recent years.
At Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Chat brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. Is Charlie Smith the answer at place kicker?
I mean, it's hard not to believe in it now. I was skeptical. I'll admit I was skeptical, just because how can you not be? I mean, not only did he, come from nowhere, we saw him struggle a lot this preseason, a lot. And it felt like, oh, man, I wonder if this is coming to an end. But, he just started kicking a football 2 years ago, and the development that's taken has really taken hold, honing it in. Like, yeah, he can kick it far. Now let's make it repeatable. Let's make sure he has confidence. And if he can make a 56-yarder in Miami in the fourth quarter, the first time he ever attempts a kick, and then he can make a game winner, what is it that's going to phase him? It's not going to be too big for him, so can't bet against him right now either.
The offensive line, though, continues to be a problem. They can't run the ball, and they allowed 5 sacks this past week. Should I have real long-term concerns over the 2 young tackles that have got a ton of draft capital invested in those guys?
No, I'm actually still pretty high on the 2 tackles. I think Kelvin Banks has played really well all season long when they've thrown him on an island and held up in pass protection really well. And I think Talifuaga's worst games of the season have been when he's been fighting through injuries and then he misses the next game. I thought he came back and had some good highlights in this game. The run blocking's been a mess team-wide. I think that's number one on the list of things Kellen Moore has to look long and hard at revamping when he goes into year 2 as a head coach, the personnel, the system. But I'm actually really high on Kelvin Banks and still optimistic on Talifuaga. I think health will play a big role in that. But I'm not. I think those are 2 hopeful hits still.
By the way, Banks is if you looked at PFF, Banks is the highest graded offensive lineman for the Saints this year on PFF, and it's not even particularly close. So I'm just playing a little devil's advocate there. He has been flagged 10 times. He has been flagged 10 times, though, Mike. That is far and away the most on the offense. Nobody else has more than 6, and that's still in Radens, Raduns.
I'm trying to think. He's the only one who's played the whole season, though, too, right?
That's fair.
He's definitely leading them in snaps. But no, look, he's not perfect. And we're not talking about him in that Rookie of the Year conversation. But I think he's a plus. I'm optimistic with him.
All right, we got to get to Mad Libs. Anything else you want to talk about football-wise?
Last game in the Dome, Saints-Jets. Right. I can't believe how few people came to the last game. I was interested to watch it. I mean, I understand they're not putting out a winning product right now, but I was pretty shocked by the emptiness. I wonder if a few more people try to sneak one in before the season's over.
Maybe. You know what else is interesting, too? This is Aaron Glenn, who, Mike, it felt internally like the Saints thought they were, at one point last year, early, that the Saints thought they were going to hire Aaron Glenn, and he picked someone else, and you kind of thumb your nose at him on Sunday, I guess. Maybe. Yeah,
we talked about that on the show this week, too. I mean, he seemed like the front runner. He seemed like their top choice. And time will tell who has a better head coaching career between Aaron Glenn and Kellen Moore, if they both even get the chance to see it through. I mean, when you take over rebuilding teams and they're not ready to win early in your tenure, sometimes you don't get the chance to see it through. But, Aaron Glenn is coaching. He seems like there's been messes under his watch, and I'm sure some of that is his fault. But, he's also coaching a team that decided to sign Justin Fields as their quarterback, but then decided to trade away Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams at the trade deadline. So were they trying to compete? Were they not trying to compete? They've got a lot of things to figure out there. But I think the idea of the offensive coach who could be a quarterback tutor, I'm glad the Saints took that path. I think if Aaron Glenn has a strength, it would be culture builder, leader of men, that kind of stuff. And I don't know if that alone could could have fixed all the things the Saints have to do during this rebuild. So I think it worked out for the best. But obviously, we're years away from finding out for sure.
We're not going to get to talk for the next 2 Thursdays because it's Christmas Day, New Year's Day. So it's going to be a minute before we visit again. You want to choose the category? Do you want a wedding to remember? Do you want a rainy day, wedding vows, visiting China, going to the doctor, the Oscars, lost and found? Any of these strike your fancy?
Oh, let's do the Oscars.
Okay, here we go. All right. Let's. This would be great. Music, if we could. Let's start. Mike, I need a plural noun.
Plural noun. All right. Oh, my gosh. Melons.
Melons. Love it. Noun.
Audacity.
Is audacity a noun?
Will that work?
I don't think audacity is a noun, Mike.
Oh, man. Trying to think of a clever word. All right, hamburger.
Hamburger. Another noun.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Toenail.
Oh, yes. Here we. All right, one more noun.
All right. Earwax.
Earwax. Look at my guy. Adjective.
Bloodthirsty.
I hope it fits. Verb.
Pitifully.
P-I-T-I.
No. That's an adverb.
That would be an adverb, yes.
Scream.
Scream. Another adjective.
All right. How about cantankerous?
So stupid. I need a person cantankerous. I need a person in the room.
A person in the room?
Yeah. That's me, Musso, or Paul. That's one of us.
All right. Oh, yeah. Let's go Musso.
All right, Musso. Sorry, Paul. Another noun.
Eyeball.
Part of the body.
Whoa. No, make that eyeball.
Okay.
The other noun will be fedora.
I do love a good fedora. Adjective?
Malodorous.
Malodorous. Another noun. Golly.
Sneaker. We'll go simple there.
Sneaker. Okay, I need 4 adjectives.
Oh, wow. All right. Oh, like in a row?
Yeah.
All right. Curly.
Okay.
Offensive. Obnoxious. And sweet.
And, all right, we got 4 more. A noun.
Diving board.
A verb ending in ing.
All right. Proclaiming.
Say it again.
Proclaiming.
Oh, proclaiming. Sorry. Proclaiming. Adjective.
Hilarious.
And finally, a plural noun.
Fumbles.
Fumbles.
Brought it back to football.
Fumbles. All right, here we go. This is Mike Triplett's Mad Libs at the Oscars. Are we ready?
Here we go.
Thank you, ladies and melons. I'm so nervous my hamburger is beating a toenail a minute. I didn't prepare an earwax. Never expected to win this bloodthirsty Oscar. I have so many people to scream. First and foremost, my cantankerous co-star, Musso, who was always in my dressing fedora, held my eyeball when I was in trouble, and never failed to compliment me or give me a malodorous pat on my sneaker when I did well. I also want to thank my curly director, my offensive producer, and of course, the obnoxious writer of the screenplay. Most of all, I want to thank you, my sweet fans. and all the members of the Motion Picture Diving Board who were responsible for my proclaiming this hilarious award. Bless your fumbles. Bye-bye! There we go. When did we start doing that?
Years ago.
I don't even
Years ago.
I don't know why we did.
I remember, for some reason, the butt fumble was involved because that was like fresh. Marshawn Lattimore, was that his rookie year? So that would be 2017.
Wow, that is a pull. I would have never remembered that, but what a pull.
Remember the butt fumble being involved. I should have brought it back.
I wonder if we can find it. Yeah, that's going to be a needle in a haystack. We'll do it. We'll do it after the new year. How about that?
Sounds good.
Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football, at Mike Triplett, with us every Thursday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you, man.
Same to you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, bud. It's after further review. Final break. Outer Locks next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Of course, tomorrow will be our last show before Christmas, for me anyway, before I go on a little time off for Christmas and New Year. But, of course, from Gordon and his old team, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if over the holidays, you find yourself in an unfortunate accident, you can get Gordon and get it done. No matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, it's important to note, it's not just Baton Rouge. They have offices all over the state, and there's an office near you. So, if you've been injured, the last thing in the world you want to do is travel. So get Gordon, get it done. Gordon's team is all over the state of Louisiana, serving the state of Louisiana and making sure that you get what you're entitled to. So if you've been injured, don't go at it alone. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You want to see testimonials, get in touch with someone there, you can do it. Getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, one thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? Doing good. Annie's picking me up right now for the party, baby.
Let's
ho,
go.
Ho, Handy. Let's go.
Ho, ho, Hanny. Save me a glass of wine. I'll raise a or a whiskey. We'll toast to a winning night tonight.
I know what you. Yeah, we'll be on our way to a winning night with Missouri State, Seattle. Yes, we'll be on a winning night. And I got a little overnight gift.
Okay.
The spirit of the holiday season. 10 a.m. kickoff tomorrow, and Kennesaw State and Western Michigan. These two teams love to stick it in the mud. I mean, they are old school, grinded out. I mean, they're one step short of the tempo of Army and Navy.
Okay.
And so that total is at 47.5. That was a double play on our podcast, Paul Stone and myself. So not too many totals that I'm betting during the holidays, bowl season, but Kennesaw State, Western Michigan under tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. kick.
Love that.
Hopefully we kicking off live at lunch tomorrow. It's 0-0 starting the second quarter. So we love nothing. We are boring.
Kennesaw State, Western Michigan tomorrow under 47.5. What do you like in the NFL game tonight?
Yeah, Seattle, Matt. It's their turn. Although it's weird, one of the biggest home field advantages has not been the case. They got a better record on the road than they do at home this season and last season. But this is a big one tonight. You lose the wide receiver who is doubtful. He's not going to play for the Rams. He's kind of had a rebirth in his career.
Devontae
joining the Rams. Yeah, so he's been a nice supplement to the Puka Nacua. So it's just yes, I'm coming. Boy, he's impatient, huh? You ever listen to the midday show?
People are going to think y'all live together. You're like an old married couple.
I'm coming, Annie. I'm doing a spot right now.
Is he blowing the horn?
No, Max is too polite to blow the horn. Annie's just banging. So he sent his goon to bang on the door. But anyway, it's just that time. But we know about a little bit skewed statistically.
1 minute remaining.
With the almost 2-1 the yards because the Rams were winning most of that game. But still, man, they were right there. They had a field goal to win it at the end. Went throwing 4 interceptions. Darnold, man, it's a big game for him. After the last 2 last year, this one earlier this year in Los Angeles, I think he's going to be solid tonight. We're taking Seattle at home.
We'll see you at the Christmas party in a little bit, and Rufino's tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you. That's Jimmy, the Oddfather. They do everything together. We got the guaranteed Christmas party. Hanny's picking up. Hanny and Max are picking up. Do you think he was really picking them up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't doubt that at all.
I don't know. Why would they ride together?
AFR.
Go to supper club. Why would they ride together?
Why not, man? I mean, there's some alcohol involved. DD, I don't know.
You think either one of them is not drinking?
Well, Max is there. I don't know if Max is going to drink that much.
That's true. It could be Max. Hey, look, always get a designated driver and always get to supper club, y'all. We had, was that the Our Lady of the Lake Christmas party, which they had at supper club on Tuesday, and it was outstanding. And Supper Club did an awesome job. Of course, I would tell you can host any event there if you want to have a party, the private room. You can even rent out the entire facility if you want to. And they had the sort of a buffet line set up with so many of their entrees. They had the prime rib, and they had the lamb chops, and they had they had the sea bass, which I tell you about all the time. It doesn't matter if you love steak or they had free range chicken. They had a lot of the sides. Whatever you eat, it will be the best thing you've ever had of that thing. It's at Supper Club on Perkins Road. SupperClubBTR.com.